So my SAP screen is visible now. My SAP screen is visible to all of you.
Sir, visible.
Okay, fine. See, actually our study should be having a interactive session. Unfortunately, yesterday's class, when I was almost making it over, after discussion of this ledger concept and passing of one entry, I asked regarding any doubts or anything else, but nobody could answer anything, as if you have muted or as if you are not in front of the screen or not listening or not following the subject. So finally only one participant responded after so many requests, so many calls. Then finally I close. I feel that you are either you are not attentive or there is some problem at your side. Okay, fine. So please be attentive actually. Whenever you have any question in your mind, whether I am discussing a concept or whatever thing, whether I am passing one entry, immediately ask me the question, immediately in between, because nothing will go to happen. There will no disturbance. I don't feel that it is a disturbance, but if you will be having any kind of queries or questions in mind, you can ask at any time. Okay, so I will try to immediately answer that. So in last class actually we had created a number range, right? Number range for non-leading ledger, and that was a very tricky area, creation of number range for the non-leading ledger. Okay, so let us see. Actually, for document type and number ranges, you know the transaction code OBA7, and OBA7 straightforward. What you do, suppose there is a document type SA which frequently we use, you click here and this is the number range node 01, and come here, put the company code 7200, click on insert interval, and like that you have created, right? So you have to click on insert line, then you have to put 01 and then your year and from number to number. So that is the way normally we create the number range. However, for the posting of a transaction, again I am telling, for the posting of the transaction in a specific non-leading ledger, okay, specific non-leading ledger. How many non-leading ledgers I have created, how many extra buckets I have created. Whenever you create a company code and do the basic customization in FI, by default 0L or leading ledger will be always there, right? But in addition to that, I treated the leading ledger for group reporting purpose, right? As well as the currency is euro. But for the purpose of reporting in company code, as per the Companies Act and as per the Income Tax Act, I had created another two ledgers. But whenever I am telling ledger, I am also fearing myself, because whenever I will tell regarding the ledger, normally people from accounting background, they think that it is ledger accounting. Somebody is telling about ledger accounting. No, it is not ledger accounting. Again I am telling, it is the identification of the bucket for the purpose of parallel recording or parallel reporting, right? So for that purpose I created another two ledgers, right? So for ledgers, what I did, see, these are the total number of ledgers, 20 number of ledgers are there. Out of 20, only one ledger which is system defined, 0L, that is the leading ledger, that is called the leading ledger. Okay, and this leading ledger is meant for the group reporting, right? If you don't have the group, I can use the leading ledger for reporting as per the Companies Act. Okay, reporting as per the Companies Act means preparation of financial statements as per the Companies Act. For that purpose I can use that. Okay, fine. Apart from 0L, any other ledger that has been created, those are created by users and those are non-leading ledger. So I have created two non-leading ledgers. One is M1, another is M2. This M1 is for the Companies Act, M2 is for the Income Tax Act, right? So what is my intention? My intention is whenever I pass a accounting entry, again I am telling, whenever I will pass one accounting entry, that accounting entry will be recorded in three places. Under the first bucket 0L, second bucket M1, third bucket M2. And 99% of the transactions, normally they don't have any treatment difference, they don't have any valuation difference between this and between this. However, there are some items. For example, suppose I am giving a donation to the Prime Minister's Relief Fund. So whenever I am giving any donation, special donation for suppose, let us see, suppose I am making any expenses for research and laboratory of a particular product. So as per the Income Tax Act, I can claim 150% of the expenses incurred for installation of a specific laboratory or scheduled laboratory and expenses. So in the financial accounting, as per the Companies Act, only the actual expenses will be shown. But whenever the same thing has to be treated in the income tax, 150% of the actual expenses, that means 1.5 times of the actual expenses has to be passed in the income tax for the purpose of preparation of profit and loss account. So how these things will happen? So in this case, I have already told you 99% cases. Similarly, depreciation, Companies Act, the depreciation is on the basis of the life of the asset, but for the Income Tax Act, the depreciation is as per the reducing balance method. So naturally, the amount of depreciation charged as per the Companies Act and as per the Income Tax Act differs. So therefore, for the rest 1% of the transaction, I have to pass it separately in the specific ledger or in the specific bucket, right? In the specific ledger or specific bucket. So for passing the transaction in specific ledger or specific bucket, normally it requires a number. So I have to create a number range. Suppose I am passing a transaction in GL accounting. So what is my number range? My number range is for document type SA, which has been created for 1 to 1000. So, but suppose specifically I want to pass the, so once that number range I have created, then any transaction that will be passed, it will be shown in the three buckets. But suppose I want to pass one JV, which is to be exactly there in M1 only. So in this case, I have to create a separate number range for M1. That means the document which will be passed in only M1, that will be having a separate number range. Similarly, for specifically passing one transaction in income tax, but not in other places, I have to create another number range. But when you will create the number range, you should be very careful, because error message will be shown to you. What error message will be shown to you and why those error message will be shown to you, let us discuss. So very tidbit I am going. I think this will be very useful to you. Okay. So whenever I will create a number range for the purpose of non-leading ledger, right? Non-leading ledger. So normal number range, document type number range, OBA 7, you are very much clear. But preparation of the creation of the number range for non-leading ledger, what I have to do? I will come to the financial accounting, then financial accounting global settings, then I will come to the ledger, then I will again come to the ledger, right? Okay, fine. So let us okay, I have already activated the ledger and everything. Okay, so let us come to the document, not ledger. Let us come to the document. Here is the document type. Here is the number range. So now I am coming to the document type, right? So here regarding the document type and number ranges, first of all, create a number range. So how to create a number range? I can create a number range here, define document number ranges for entry view. Actually, what happens, I am very much habituated with the creation of number range by using the transaction OBA7, right? So previously, so there are two ways of creation of a number range. Just a minute, unnecessary, these are opened. Okay, fine. So previously I have shown you OBA7. OBA7 is the document type. So I understand what is the document type I am going to use, and again, if I click on the same document, from there itself also I can create the number range, right? So this is the way I can create number range. However, there is another way of creation of number range, that is the transaction code FBN1. Okay, so I am directly coming here for the purpose of number range, or that FBN1, see, this is defined document number ranges for the entry view. Okay, so here also let us activate the transaction code, additional information, again additional information, display key, IMG activity. Okay, so I have already told you that the last 4 digit is the transaction code. So what is the last 4 digit? FBN1 is the last 4 digit. So that is the transaction code for creation of number range. Okay, so here I will not separately create any document type for posting in the non-leading ledger or posting in another bucket, posting specifically as per the Companies Act or posting specifically as per the Income Tax Act. I will not create any for separate document type. What is the strategy? The strategy is I will not create any separate document type for the purpose of posting in the non-leading ledger like M1 and M2. However, I will maintain a separate number range for that purpose, right? Therefore, what I do, I will click on FBN1N. Once I click on FBN1N, I will come here directly, or if I click here also, same thing, FBN1. Okay, so here I will put my company code name. There are 3 options, as you know. One is display interval, another is change interval, another is NR status. So if I click on the change interval, then I will click on insert line and create the number range. However, in document type and number ranges, what happened? You have to always give a node here, right? Node. Then year, then from number to number. However, I don't have to give any node here, and I don't have to give a specific document type for this purpose. I will pass the transaction in document type SA, in non-leading ledger M1 as well as M2. However, the number range will be separate. This number range I am not going to use. This number range will be used for normal transactions. But for ledger specific posting or bucket specific postings, I have to create another number range. So what will be the number I have to give here? First thing, be sure that any number you are going to give, it should not be within the list in this document type and number range. So again I am telling, you should not give any number which is already used for different document types. What does it mean? I am going to here OBA7. In OBA7, this is the first document. Click here. What is the number range? What is the node here? 01. If I come to AB, what is the node here? 23. So 23 cannot be used there. Similarly, AE 05 has been used. So 05 cannot be used there. Similarly, depreciation, here also 05 used. So what is the node in which you have to create a number range, you have to decide. So is it the right strategy for you to search 60 numbers of document type and the nodes assigned? No, this is not at all desirable. From one thing you can find out how many out of these 60, in these 60 documents, which are the number used, right? We can see it from the table itself. We can see it from the SAP table. These document types are maintained in a table and we will go and see that table. For displaying the table, the transaction code is SE16N. I have already shown you the table previously. So click on SE16N. Here I have to use the table T004 and click on and erase the maximum number of hits. Click on enter. Sorry, this is T004 is the chart of account. Let us have T003. Yes, 3003 is the document type. Actually, if you put a table name, the description will also automatically come. So here the list of document types will be shown to you. So just click on continue, right? So once you click on continue, how many document types are showing here? 60, isn't it? So 60 numbers of document types are showing here. So in this case, in that case, if we display OBS 7, sorry, /n OBS 7, how many document types we are showing? 60. So looking this one and looking the same thing in the table, there is a difference. What is the difference? So there you have to search, this is the number range, right? From here itself you can easily find out which are the nodes already available, right? So I can have, say, I can sort this in ascending order. Okay, so now this is sorted out. See, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19. See, after 53 directly it is 80 and 90. So that's it. So there is a long gap after 53. So you can give any number after 53 to 80, no issues. And 80, 90 is also used. So after 80 also up to 89 you can use. So therefore, before creating any number range for passing the transaction in non-leading or separate bucket only for Companies Act, posting only for Companies Act, or posting only for Income Tax Act, you have to create a number range, and that number range creation, at the time of number range creation, you have to see which things are available here, right? So let us come to the place where we will use it. So I have already told you FBN1 is the transaction code where we will create the number range for non-leading. See, this is 88. I have created 88 directly. Okay, so 88 is already available because after 80 then 90. So 88 is already available. So while you also create, you have also to check it from the table itself, right? The table name is T003, and to display that table, the transaction code is SE16N, right? So I will ask you to, you are desirable, it is desirable to ask me questions. Just make some questions in your mind if you don't understand the process, what I am saying to you. The entire process I am depicting, it is very important thing. If you want to have a something in future regarding this SAP, if you are a knowledgeable person in SAP, then definitely any place these questions will be asked. If you take it as a career, further career in SAP, These things are minimum requirements. Leading ledger, non-leading ledger, creation of number range assigned to a particular bucket, or non-leading, I am using the layman's language, that is bucket. But no other trainer, I have gone through several videos, the best trainers all over the world, they don't come to this situations, come to this such a low profile or low using of the language like bucket or anything else. From beginning to end, they will use the word ledger, 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 and sometimes students will understand that they are as if they are explaining me general ledger. No, that is not the case actually. So I am creating 88 for my bucket. Which bucket? Income tax bucket. Because we, as from the accounts background, we very well know that parallel accounting is required. But practically in our organization, parallel entry is not maintained. First of all, we prepare the accounts as per the Companies Act. Then from that profit or loss, we prepare the expressly disallowed, expressly allowed, add, less, etc., etc. In our income tax studies also, whenever we recompute the profit or loss as per the Income Tax Act, then first starting point is the profit or loss as per the Companies Act, then we will add something, we will less something. Okay, that is the purpose for the stopgap arrangement or for the learning. But for a company who should prepare authenticate records, it should not follow that system. When ERP is there, facility is there, then companies should maintain separate set of entries. Suppose 50,000 or 5 lakhs entries are passed in Companies Act, then 5 lakh 2 extra 2 entries may be passed as per the Income Tax Act. So profit and loss account and balance sheet or trial balance is derived from separately for the 5 lakh entries as per the Income Tax Act, and 5 lakh 2 numbers of entries are used for the preparation of another trial balance, another profit and loss account, and another balance sheet for the Income Tax Act. So that should be the method, and we know that 99% cases both are same. So that's why what we did, we used the transaction code FB50, but there was a transaction code FB50L which was used, I had demonstrated. Okay, so whenever I create this 88, then I came to this place for linking it. Okay, where I link it with the bucket, I link it here itself. So I will go to the document, then I will go to the document type. Here it is the very important place, define document types for entry view in a ledger. So I will click here, I have to give here M1, click on enter. Then here under the ledger M1, or as per the Companies Act, whenever any JV will be passed, then this number range node will be used, 88 will be used, right? So what does it mean? If I have to create, I have to click on the new entries button, give the document type SA, then I will give 88, right? So what will happen, this after this I can go to and directly post a transaction specifically for Companies Act, financial accounting, general ledger, document entry. See, previously I used this transaction FB50, but nobody questioned me what about FB50L. But FB50L is for the purpose of posting in a specific ledger or specific bucket. Okay, so here I put the date. Suppose I put the today's date, right? Here only extra field appeared apart from FB50, that is we specify the ledger group. Okay, so I specify the ledger group M1, right? So I specify M1 and try to post the transaction. Okay, so whatever may be the transaction, suppose 1 2 3 4 anything, I am just showing you, it's not having, suppose I am putting it as test in M1, and this is your bank. Okay, if this is passed, then everything is passed. This entry has no meaning at all actually. I am just showing you how this entry will be passed. Okay, so here the entry is specifically saved in your ledger M1, which is specifically for the Companies Act, because there is a valuation difference or treatment difference. Okay, this one, then I click on yes, save. So the document is 2002, which is under 88 note. Okay, suppose I want to see the document FB03. So in the FB03, in this particular screen, by default ledger 0L is appearing, right? Ledger 0L is appearing. Okay, so 0L, what I have told, 0L is the leading ledger. So if I click on execute or enter, I found that there are 18 items here, 18 items, right? 18 items. Whenever we passed a transaction in FB50, not FB50L, then the transaction will be parallelly shown in 0L, M1 as well as M2, right? It will parallelly shown in 0L, M1 and M2. M1 is for the Companies Act bucket and M2 is for the income tax. Let us see the M1, click on enter. How many entries are here? 20 entries are here. 2 numbers of extra entries are appearing here, right? So why 2 number of extra entries are appearing here? Because in the 0L only 18 entries were there. That means up to this point, from this point to this point, entries were there, because I was using without any ledger specific posting. It is a general posting, so parallel recording was possible. But for the entry number 2001 and 2002, I maintained a separate number range and I specify in which bucket it will post. So therefore these 2 entries are extra, that means 18 plus 2. So definitely the trial balance or profit and loss account and balance sheet of 0L and M1 will definitely differ, because there are 2 numbers of extra entries. Okay, apart from these 2 number of entries, other 18 entries are just copy paste. I have already told you that 99% of cases there is no difference in the entries. So 99% cases simply pass the transaction using FB50. But for 1% of cases you have to come and use FB50L. Suppose your company is posting the transaction in F-02. F-02 also same thing, but F-02 takes a lot of time for posting, because one by one line items will come. But there Excel sheet types of posting was there. Excel sheet types of screen was there. Suppose I want to post a transaction here. How it looks like. It takes a lot of time. This is posting key 40. I have to give the GL account number, say 400 100, first line item. Then I click enter. Then it is asking for the amount and everything. Suppose 1234 is the amount. Text is say test. Then next line item you have to put 50. You have to put the account number, say 2 lakhs. Then again you have to put amount. Okay, again you have to put the amount. Then you have to put your text. Then next line item again 50 or 40, whatever you want. So it takes a lot of time, but FB50 it is very fast. Actually here also there is a fast data entry screen. If I click on the fast data entry screen, Excel sheet type will come. Here also I can directly copy from Excel sheet and paste here. Actually the people who are making the entry, they have to be very fast in making the accounting entries. So sometimes in the Excel sheets also things are there and you have to copy and paste here. It can be also copied and pasted. Let us I am showing you. Suppose I am opening one Excel sheet. Suppose I am putting posting key 40. See what is the template here. Actually what is the first of all it is asking for posting key, then it is asking for amount, then is account, then it is asking for amount. Okay, so same way posting key 40. 400, 100, and amount is say 25,000, and here is posting key 50, amount is say 2 lakhs, account is say 2 lakhs, and this is also 25,000. Okay, this is the thing. So in this case I can copy this one, and I can come here and I can paste, right? This is combining actually one by one. I have to paste amount. I am pasting here 25, and here I have to paste, either I have to copy it. If there will be more number of items, then I will come column by column. Okay, this is the third column. I can copy here and I can paste in the third column, right? Then I put enter, right? So everything is coming now. Okay, so these things automatically, these 2 line items, that is also coming, but these are in blue font. Why this is in blue font? Because narration or text is compulsory, but in the first data entry I could not provide any narration. Okay, because for the purpose of narration, this things facility is not there, but it can be created. For narration I can create another space here, but as per the standard practice it is not there. So this F-02, that is not for the first data entry, but regarding the FB50, this is the screen for first data entry. You can also copy from Excel sheets here for the different fields, right? So all of this is regarding your posting in parallelly all ledgers, as well as there is a facility to post the entries in a specific ledger. So regarding the currency is concerned, how can we see the currency? Suppose this is document number 1. Okay, if I click on display currency, there are 3 currencies I narrated yesterday. If I select group currency and continue, I can see in euro also, right? So any questions on your behalf, because this is the most important concept so far we have covered.
Sir, one question.
Yes.
Sir, can I prepare one currency range, range for M1 and M2?
See, this M1 and M2, right? This M1, in my case actually, in M1 and M2, these are purely in INR, right? So for the purpose of consolidation at the Europe, my Companies Act and my taxation financial statement, it is not required in fact. So therefore, suppose I am going to a particular place. Suppose I am going to document list, fiscal year 2002, say this is M1, and click on OK. So 2001. So this 2001 may not be required for the purpose of consolidation. Suppose I am coming here, click on display currency. See, if I click on display currency, it is not showing any group currency. Why it is not showing? Because these entries are purely specific to the Indian context as per the Indian Companies Act. However, the entries which are posted in 0L or leading ledger, that was subject to consolidation. Okay. So regarding the question that is there any same what you have asked, again ask me.
So actually I want to know, can I prepare number range for both M1 and M2, or use one number range for both M1 and M2?
No, you have to create separate number range. I have shown you only one for M1. Similarly, you have to create another one for M2 and link that. Otherwise, M2 entries will not be passed. Suppose I want to post an entry in M2, that will not accept. Let us see whether I have created the number range or not, because you have to create separate number ranges. I think I have not created, but check in. If not created, again immediately I will create and pass one entry. Same way things will happen for the Income Tax Act. So here you have to go and here you have to go, let us have M2. Let us see whether, no number range I have created. So what I have to do, first of all I have to create a number range. So how to create a number range? So for that purpose I cannot create document type and number range. I will directly create. So I am directly creating it, 7200, and let us create it for 89, right? But I have already told you, you have to check in from the table, you have to check in which number ranges are available, then only you have to create. T003 table you have to see. So 89 is also available, 2022, and it should be 40012 to 5000, and click on save. Okay, click on continue. Okay, so I have created the number range. Then I will link it with my bucket. With my bucket, very layman's language I am using this M2 bucket. Click on M2, click on this, click on new entries. I have to put SA. Why SA? Because I am going to use the transaction code FB50L. So any transaction, whether it is for FB50 or FB50L, the document type will be SA. But here the document type SA will be having different number range, 89. I am assigning the node, and 89 is 4001 to 5000. Okay, just now I created. Click on save. Save in your request. Now I can pass the document in M2. Suppose some situation came that I have to pass a specific document in my here M2 in my Companies Act. Okay, so I am putting the same GL debit, suppose 3256. I am putting test into, then 2000, sorry, this is credit, amount is star, text is plus, and enter, simulate, save. Okay, this is document type 4001, right? So this 4001 is only passed in M2, not in other ledgers, right? Not in other buckets. So this is the way the things happens. So only 1% of the cases we have to do these things. So any other questions, please ask.
Sir, there is this number range 89 you have taken.
Yes.
Sir, it is SAP defined, or the user can define as per his choice?
User can define any number range as per its choice. Okay, as per its choice, but you have to assure that the same number has not been used for any existing document types, right? In any existing document type, the same number has not been used by going through the table. Okay, so that assurance should be there. Otherwise, the fresh number will not be accepted. Okay, so how to show the table? T003 is the table. Yes.
Sir, one number can be assigned to different document type.
Definitely assigned. I am also showing you. Let us see. It may happen that it can be assigned, but what is the logical ideal situation? The ideal, suppose asset accounting journal entries. Is it correct? Is it logical that asset accounting related transaction, asset purchase, asset sale, loss on sale of asset, is it to be mixed up with your customer or vendor related entries? No. So therefore the SAP has provided different document types and number range, but the user can manipulate it. For example, this asset accounting, here the number range has been, actually the node has been started from 01. Okay, so under the 01 we have already created a number range. See, by using 01 I have created a number range 1 to 1000. Okay, already 14 numbers of document I have passed. So whenever I will discuss the asset accounting, what will happen? I cannot create anything under 01. So ultimately what will happen? Any asset posting will be there, that will mix up with the GL. Obviously that will mix up with the GL. But how I can bypass it? How I will never make it happen? In this case, I have to create a separate node here. Okay, and under that node I have to create a number range. Then I can change that 01. Okay, so how to create a node? Node creation, you found out FBN1. From there itself, suppose I want to create a node. This is the node what I have created. Okay, and this node, suppose I create a node 91. 90 cannot be used, 90 is already there from the table we see. Suppose I create 91. Once I create 91, when I will discuss the asset accounting na, I will do these things. Immediately I will come and I will replace it with 91. Immediately I will replace it with 91. Okay, so I can go by this way, like document type and number ranges. I came first here, and whatever thing was showing here, I created the number range. But the important thing is, suppose I change it. Suppose I change it, if somebody has already habituated, if any user is passing asset related posting in 01, and if I change it to 91, that user will be in trouble. Why? Because that user has not created a number range using the node 91. But I created a number range using the node 91. So the software provider, because this is a standard document type. So standard document type, standard number range has been used. But people have manipulated. End users or persons who are practicing with this software, they have manipulated this, and after manipulation they have manipulated the standard settings. As they have changed the standard settings, either it will be beneficial or either it will create problem for others sometimes. Okay, but the logic is, if I want to create a number range, I have to specific for myself unique number range for unique document types. Then I have to create a node first, and while creating the node, be sure that the same node is not there in the list. How to check it? You have to go to SC69, that is SAP table. From there you have to check whether that node is available or not. And under a node you have to create a number range. Mind it, under a node you have to create a number range in the number range table, right? So first of all, you should sure that this node has not been used. Okay, node can be once used in the client. Client means in this 800 client. So in the 800 client, if somebody has created a node, then this node cannot be used for others. So this is the case actually. So you have to be very much cautious when creating this kinds of things. And if you do not want anything, you can go by the standard. Okay, this is 05. I will create a number range using 05. 05 will be node, and I will create a number range under 05 node. So this will be there. But mind it, whenever you will create a separate number range for your separate bucket, like Companies Act or Income Tax Act, you should check which are available. Okay, any other queries regarding this?
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, in group consolidation,
Yes.
the entries passed in M1 and M2 is not relevant.
See, the entries which are passed in the M1 and M2 specifically M1 and M2, that are not required for the purpose of consolidation in group. But 90% of the entries in 0L, M1 and M2 are same to same. So the entries which are very much same in M1 and M2, those are taken to 0L for the purpose of consolidation. See, let us take an example. Suppose one Indian company, it has constructed one laboratory, incurring expenses of say 5 crores. As per the Indian Income Tax Act, it can claim 1.5 150% of the expenditure for the computation of your profit or loss as per the Income Tax Act. But actual expenses is 5 crores. So another 2.5 crores, it has to pass one entry, extra entry of 2.5 crores in in Income Tax Act as laboratory expenses 2.5 crores to income tax clearing reserve, like this. One entry will be passed. That entry is the requirement of your income tax computation. So in the PL account, you will charge extra 2.5, though you do not pay it from your pocket. But Companies Act, if nothing is paid from your pocket, that transaction is not required. So this transaction 2.5 crores, though it is not from your pocket, your expenditure of the company code, but for the computation of income tax, you have to pass one extra entry in bucket M2, that is your laboratory expenses IT, within bracket IT, that GL will be required, that extra GL, general ledger, will be required to your income tax computation reserve of donation, like that account, that entry has to be passed in bucket M2. But this kind of entry, the group level, headquarter level in UK, they will simply ignore this kind of entries, because these are the local requirements, Indian taxation requirements, but they are interested for the actual expenses. So whatever entries you have passed in your Companies Act, that kind of entry also they require. So you have to, this particular transaction, you have to pass the entry 3 times. First of all, you have to pass the entry, this the second typical entry for income tax. Second, you have to pass the entry for bucket M1, which is the actual expenditure. Again, you have to pass the entry for bucket 0L. Okay, so 3 times you have to pass the entry, and you have to use the transaction code FB50L for 3 times. But the important thing is, the entry which is passed, which is recorded in 0L, that can be shown in euro. But the entry which is passed in the M1 or M2, that cannot be converted into euro. Why? Because I have already told you that only the transaction which is appearing in 0L, that will be for the purpose of consolidation. Okay, so that is the thing. So do you understand the entire intention of the SAP, why they have created this kinds of logical approach? Because it is a very practical requirement in multinational companies. They use this kinds of arrangements for the purpose of parallel recording. And from the year 2006, this kinds of facility came in SAP, and it is a milestone of the SAP inventions. Before that, separate GL account was maintained, separate GL account, general ledger account, for posting a transaction in consolidation purpose, for Companies Act purpose, for Income Tax Act purpose. There was lots of postings has to be taken place manually. But here, once you post a transaction, 90% of the cases it will be copied automatically in 3 places. Only 1% of the cases there will be a treatment difference, and separate transaction code has been provided. You can use that transaction code for posting in specific bucket or specific ledger. So any other queries? Anything you can do it. You have the understanding, you can configure. all of you can configure the same in your system?
Sir, we will try to do, sir. Because
Okay.
while watching the class, the SAP login repeatedly get locked up.
Okay. When you are doing something customization, it is somebody has already opened and it is locked, is it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
Last class I have shown you, again I am showing. This is a very simple thing. See, if somebody is doing the customization and you are doing the customization, there is a coincidence and you are not able to move because that fellow is already in the customization screen. So one way you can remove that fellow, but my students, they all knows this. So my sincere request to all the students, if you do the customization, immediately complete it so that another person will also do it. Otherwise, if you will be in the screen for so many time, then others will be harassed. So there is a transaction code SM04. Again I am telling SM04. Just write down. There is a transaction called SM04. That problem will arise because if there will be so many users, then this type of problem will arise. So you can remove that person and smoothly can complete your task. So how to remove that person? Let us see. Okay. SM04 is the transaction code. This is a transaction code for basis consultant. Click on enter. See, these are the persons who are logged in SAP. Now, that means who are logged and work in SAP. This is myself. Suppose I want to remove this fellow. Actually, whom you have to remove? Whenever you want to go to a customizing screen, then it shows you the message with the username, right? Lalatendu, it is showing you the username who is in the
Yes, sir.
screen. So once you come, you have to just remember the username. Then you have to come to this SM04. Select that username, right? Select that username, go to the user, log off system wide, and it will ask you the question. Click on yes, khatam, that fellow removed. See how that fellow removed. Here 68 font 27, this is my student already there. I want to remove that person. User, log off, system wide, yes, gone. That fellow is also gone. So this is the way you can remove the person. Once you remove, immediately go to the customizing screen, and up to you do not enter the customization, nobody can again enter, because same situation was also with you. You could not enter because he is in the customizing screen and creating something. So before removing that, you just come to the make ready of the transaction code. Put the transaction code here, open another screen. Okay, see, if you want to fire somebody, you have to also ready, otherwise that fellow will also immediately come. Suppose you want to come to a customizing screen FB03. Okay, suppose FB02, or say, suppose you are coming FBN1. Okay, but somebody is already there in the customizing screen FBN1. So you open two numbers of screen. Here in the FBN1 you put, and you come to this screen, remove that fellow, log off user, system wide, yes. Immediately come to the screen here and put enter. Okay, that's it. If you make late, or if you go by the path, that fellow may be very smart than you. It can again come in by just putting the transaction code and make enter. So before the coming of that fellow, another screen, put the transaction code and make ready yourself, and remove the person from this screen, and immediately come to this screen and put enter. That's it. Khatam. Then you can complete your task. Unless and until you complete your task, that previous person or that previous user cannot disturb you. Okay, he has to wait. But if he also know SM04, then he can, or he or she can also remove you. But mind it, all my students know only, because 99.99% of these functional trainees or functional people or functional users or people who are in functional module like finance, FI, CO, MM, SD, they don't know regarding this transaction code and regarding the utility of this transaction code. So very few users will come know this. If you remove them, they have to simply wait for. Only my students, they know how to remove a person, because this transaction code is the transaction code belongs to the basis consultants who are the system administrators, right? So this is the way you can remove the person and do your customization. Okay, so this is the case.
Yes, sir.
This is the case regarding your ledger approach. Okay, then we will go to another end user activity. That
Sir,
is, okay, tell me.
Sir, each parallel accounting is operated in TPC hotel.
What I can tell you, in India, most of the companies, they don't want to fully take the utility of the system or facilities which is there in SAP. So in companies in India, whether it is a million turnover, billion turnover or profit, even if Nalco or any companies, big companies, what is in your mind, whatever I know, most of the Indian companies except multinational companies, they don't use this parallel reporting. Only the multinational companies whose group headquarter is in different country, where there is a professional setup. TPCODL is not a professional managed company. Nalco is not a professional managed company. See, professional, if I can tell professional managed company means professionals are there and they are professional managing. No, from SAP point of view, SAP has certain facilities. If you don't use that facility, and after the finalization of account, and you will come to the Excel sheet and you will do add less for the purpose of tax audit, expressly disallowed, expressly allowed, add and less the items, and find out the actual profit or loss as per the income tax, and your audit is over 44 AV under section 44 AV, and you are going to pay the tax. Then this is not a professional setup. You require each and every transactions in a separate bucket, in a separate table, on the basis of which your financial statement will be generated separately. So except multinational companies or big companies having professional approach, they have implemented the SAP, but professionally they use the SAP, because in India most of the companies, if they use the SAP, they do not use all the modules. If they use a module, suppose FI they use, but they do not use the all areas of the FI, like the areas what I discussed. But definitely, if you want to go to a SAP interview in any organization, even if suppose Nalco they are not using, but if you are going for the interview in Nalco and somebody SAP expert will be there, they will ask you the question regarding leading ledger and non-leading ledger. But if you are selected and join in Nalco, because Nalco, their employees, they are also getting the training, they don't have the system. OMC, Lalatendu, in OMC, are you using leading and non-leading ledger?
No, sir, no, sir, no, sir.
That same addless concept is there.
One setup.
Only
Sir,
one
same system.
Okay.
Only one system account is maintained, and tax accounting is done outside SAP.
Outside SAP in Excel sheets. Okay. So see,
Yes, sir.
these are the big companies in Odisha. Even if big companies in India, they use very specific limited three things in FI. FI is a bread and butter module. So many facilities are there. But if you want to make your career in SAP, or you will have the interview in big companies, any SAP expert will come. Definitely they will ask you this question, and SAP certification exam also, these are required. So always prepare for the best. See, suppose you are going to an examination, you have to cover up everything, even if the questions are questions are very primary or questions are not so hard. But these leading ledger, non-leading ledger, parallel accounting, these are the very basic things of the FI, financials. So this concept is very much required. So I cannot omit these things and bypass. See, that 15 days training program in chapter, these things were not covered because I was just hurried to show only how to pass a transaction in FI, how to pass a transaction in financials. Apart from that, other things I could not cover. So this is the way in which these things happens. Okay, so now we will go to another area, which is the application of your requirement in FI. So that is your recurring document. Okay, recurring entries. Before that, let us understand what is recurring entries and what are the use of it. Okay, so recurring entries. What is recurring entries? Let us understand. See, some of the organizations, they in FI or financials, some entries they have to pass on a specific date each and every month. Okay, and the amount is also fixed. Again I am telling, some entries are in such a nature where the amount GL account used is fixed, only the date changes. That means once in a month that entry is passed, GL account and amount is constant, right? There is no change in the GL account and the amount, but only date is changed. Every month once that is passed. Let us take an example. Suppose your company is paying lease rent every month. Your company is paying lease rent every month and it is passing the due entry on end of every month. Okay, so in this case the GL account to be used and the provision, actually whenever there is a due entry, suppose a rent account, rent expenses, the rent is constant throughout within the agreement period. 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, the amount of rent is constant. And this rent you are going to pay once in a month. So every month end, you have to pass the provision entry, rent provision or due entry for the rent. Okay, where the GL account and the amount is same. But thing is, it has to be passed once in a month within a fixed interval. Suppose today it is passed on say 30th, next month also it will be passed on the 30th, next month also it will be passed on the 38th, it will be like that, right? So within a gap of say 30 days, you will pass the due entry and actual payment happens on the first day of the next month. Suppose there are 10 premises you have taken as rent, or there are say 100 premises you have taken on rent. So there are 100 different entries will be passed once in a month having the GL account and the amount is same. So in this case, there is a facility in SAP to use recurring document concept. Again I am telling, recurring document concept. So recurring document concept, what will happen, you have to, in the beginning of the year, you have to create a recurring document, put it in the SAP memory. Again I am telling, you have to create a recurring document, put it in the SAP memory, right? And every month you have to run that particular entries. Once you run that entries can be passed in a batch input mode. So what is batch input mode? Suppose we have created a recurring document 1 to 100 varieties of recurring document we have created, 100 lease rent entries we have created. So that 100 lease rent entries I can run every month. Once I run, then 100 entries will be generated. It will take only 15 or 20 seconds to run my SAP software, and as per the customization, SAP will create 100 numbers of document each month. So 15 seconds I can create 100 numbers of document in SAP. Maybe 1000 documents, same 15 seconds. 50,000 recurring documents, same 15 seconds. If I run the software, automatically document will be generated. But initially in the beginning of the year, I have to make understand to the SAP that these are my recurring documents, and the gap of passing of that document, monthly or quarterly or bi-monthly or half yearly, what is that? I have to make understand to the SAP system. Once I give these parameters, GL account, amount, narration, and gap. Gap means monthly or quarterly or bi-monthly, what is that? After putting these things, I will save it in the SAP memory, and every month 15 seconds time will be required to run a specific transaction code. Once I run a specific transaction code, 100 numbers of document will be posted taking a specific date, month end. Okay, so this is called your recurring entries, and recurring entries are very much useful for big companies, multinational companies, where they have big area of operations, say pan India or out of India, and they have number of premises having different lease rents, different see, EMI is also like that, equated monthly installment. The due entries of the equated monthly installment is also very similar of due entry for the lease rents. Okay, so equated monthly installment also you can apply the recurring document concept. It will save your time, it will save your resources, because whenever you do any manual interference, at the time of manual entry, there may be choosing a wrong GL, there may be choosing a wrong amount, anything, etc. So better to, if the GL account, amount, narration, everything is same, only thing is your monthly ones or quarterly ones or bi-monthly ones entry will be passed at the end of the month, then we are very sure that recurring document concept can be applied here. So our consultant or lead users or power users, they will create the document and pass it in SAP. Okay, so first of all, for the purpose of creation of the recurring entries and keep it in the SAP memory, we require a number range. Again I am telling, number range is for what? Number range is for the purpose of document number ranges, right? So for creation of any recurring document, we also require a number range, because that recurring document which will be created, those are model documents that will be kept in the SAP memory, and later on those documents will be finally posted in SAP as GL document, monthly once. So now I have to go to the document type and number range, and I will create the number range for creation of my recurring entries. Creation of my recurring entries, not passing of my recurring entries. Recurring entries will be passed when I will go for the batch input session or run the software. Okay, first of all I have to create a recurring document and put it in the SAP memory for future use, for monthly use. See, SAP is having a standard document type X1, that is the recurring entry document. I will use this X1, right? So here, where you are passing any document, always you create the number range using this node, right? But here, in case of recurring document, there is a exception. What is the exception? Whenever I will create the recurring document, I will create here x1. Okay, I will put the node as x1, but in ordinary cases, what I do, I use the node 0 1 because 0 1 was there, but this is the exception in case of recurring document. Okay, so now I will create my number range for my recurring document 5001 to 6000. Mind it, this is the most important parameters, this is the most deviation from the standard number ranges. So here you have to put the x1. X1 is what? X1 is recurring document type. So recurring document type has to be used for the creation of node. Click on save. This is the only exception for recurring document. Apart from that, anytime that node will be used, which will be shown in the number range. See, I was here na document type. This is the node. I know this is the node, but and I have to use this 0 1. Under the 0 1, I should use from number to number, but only for the recurring document you have to use the node as x1 here. Okay, not 0 1. Fine. So 0 1 has not to be used. So this is the exception here. Then I will come back. So I have created a number range, right? So after creation of the number range, let us create a recurring document. Accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, document entry. Here I will click on FBD1. That is my recurring document. Here I will give my company code 7200. Okay, let us create a GL account first, rent account and provision for rent account. Then see, not a single extra GL I am creating, only the same thing I am using here. Let us go to the GL creation centrally, FS00. Okay, so before creation of any GL account, first of all I have to open the group first, OBD4. I have to go to the OBD4. So in the OBD4, what is the chart of account name? 7200, right? So rent will come under the administration, right? So 400 200 GL has to be used. So let us come here, give here 400 200. I am creating the GL from with template. With template means copy 400 100 7200. I am copying 400 100. Okay, so all the things of my 400 100 copied. Now I have to change it to admin. Okay, this is a PL statement account type. I have to change the short text and long text like rent account. Rent account. Always I have to erase this group account number because group concept I am not using now. I will demonstrate it later on. So when I am copying, this group and alternative account number is coming. Then go to the create oblique bank oblique interest tab, no issues, click on save. Okay, so I am creating rent account, then I will create another provision for rent account. So provision for rent account, it will come under the current liability. So 100 200 is the GL I can use. So I will come back, I will put here 100 200. I can copy it from the 400 100 also, but I have to select balance sheet account type first because this is a current liability. So I will create it as current liability, right? Then I will put the short text and long text as rent payable or rent payable. Okay, so group account number I will erase, these are not required for myself. This is also I will erase. Then click on save. Don't care for the warning message, save, right? So after saving, let us come and create one document which will be used for my recurring entries, right? So First of all, you have to give the company code. Then I will declare what will be the date on which my recurring entries has to be passed. It is asking me what is first run on. I am giving the first run date 30 April 2022 and last run I am putting 31st March 2023. Interval I am giving 01. What does it mean? That means the rent, as per the rent agreement, throughout the financial year 2022-23, every month I have to post the rent. The first rent due entry will be on 30 April 2022 and the last entry will be 31st March 2023 and interval is 1 month, right? Then I will come to the document type. What will be the document type for my rent provision? SA. What will be my currency? INR. Then translation date also I have to remove. Let have the translation date say 1st April 2022. In the beginning of the financial year I decided that this will be my recurring entries. Then I am coming to the posting key 40. In the posting key 40 I will use my GL account, rent account, because that is the this account, rent account. Okay, then enter. Once I click on enter, it will say warning message. Don't care for the warning message. Enter. Suppose 25,000 is the rent. Okay, then value date I have to change. I am making the value date 1st April 2022. Value date can be changed anytime, no issues. So I am having rent payable. Similarly, posting key 50, 100, 200, then put enter. This is star, then this is plus, and here display document overview. Okay, this is the entry. This is the entry which you are going to pass. Then click on save. Okay, now this document number is 5001. Okay, so as this is 5001, where did this document go? Is it a real document now? Let us see. FB03. So I am putting here 5001. Will I get that document? What it is showing? 5001 doesn't exist. So it is not a real document. So what is this document? This is a template document. This is a recurring entry which is saved in the SAP memory. So when it will be a real document? When I will run the software, then it will be converted into a real document and it will be saved taking the real document number. Okay, document number in SA. So after passing the recurring document, let us display the recurring document. Let us go to the periodic processing. Let us go to the recurring entry, and there is a transaction code F.15 and there is a transaction code F.14. Before passing F.14, F.14 is for execute, run. F.15 is list. List means to see. Now I want to see my recurring document 7200. Okay, fiscal year 2022. Then click on continue. See, now I see my recurring document. My recurring document number is 5001. What is the posting type? Account type SA. Posting date 10th November. That means today I posted. First run on 30 April 2022. Next run 30 April 2022. What does it mean? That means till now I have not run the first recurring document. Last run 31st March 2023. That means year end. What is the interval? 1 day, 1 month or 30 days. System is accepting it as 30 days. That means every 30-day interval the document will be generated by running. So the first run is on 30 April next run is on 30 April, final run is on 31st March 2022. So my first month running is now due. So now let us run it for the first month. How to run? Same, F.14, very near transaction code. Click on F.14, right? Give the company code 7200. Now document number 5001, fiscal year 2022. Then settlement period, first month 1st April to 30 April, right? So this is the document which is to be run. And this suppose you have 100 documents, recurring documents, then what you will do? 5001 to 5100. Okay, that's it. Give the batch input run, batch input session. I have already told you, at a time within 15 seconds thousands documents, recurring document can be passed. So batch input session, you have to give a session name. Suppose I am giving the session name XYZ, anything. So now I will run the software. Actually I have only one document, so I will click on execute. Once we click on the execute, it will say session XYZ was created. Okay, then I will go to the systems, services, batch input session. See, XYZ is appearing here. Select XYZ, click on process, display errors only, click on process. So now the batch input session is completed. Then click on session overview. See that is already run. After it is run, let us go to the FB03. See, this is the document number 15 which is posted after this batch input run. What is this document? Rent account debited to rent payable. What is the date? 30 April 2022. What is the date? 30 April 2022. What is the document number? 15. But what is my template? 5001. 5001 was for SAP memory. But once it is run through the batch input, my real document essay is created. Now let us come back. Now let us come to the screen. What is the screen? Accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, periodic processing. Then I will come to the recurring entries. Then I will come to the F.15. So in the F.15, sorry, let us see what recurring document is showing. Click on execute. See, the first run 30 April, next run 30 May. What does it mean? It means the first run is already completed. So next month run is due, right? So next month run is due. So one run is completed here. One run. Number of runs? 1. So now I will go to the run on 30 May. So for 30 May, what I have to do? Again I will come to the F.15. I will put the company code. I will put 5001, fiscal year. Then this is the month, second month. Then 31st May. Even if there will be thousands document, you can give from document to document. You can give batch input session name, ABC, anything. Then click on execute. Then it will show ABC is created. Then you will go to the systems, services, batch input session. Select ABC, click on process, click on display errors only, click on process. Select session overview. Fine, that gone. Then come to the to display the document FB03. So what is the document number showing here? 16. How that document came? See the document, rent account debited to rent payable. What is the document date? 30 May. Posting date 30 May. Document serial number 16. This is the serial number of document type SA, not 5001. Mind it, 5001 is for only for putting the template in the SAP memory. Then let us go to the periodic processing, recurring entries, F.15 list. Let us see how that is updated in the system. See, first run 30 April, next run 30 June. What does it mean? It means April and May recurring entries is already over. So only June entry is left. So here 1 is converted into 2. That means 2 numbers of 2 times recurring entry has been passed. Okay, fine. So this is the way in which a recurring entry happens. But the most important thing is the recurring entry, your amount, GL account, narration should be constant. Only thing is you have to change the running date, posting date as well as document date. It can be monthly once, it can be bi-monthly, it can be quarterly once, half yearly once or yearly once. Okay, and this saves your time. If any organization will be having the same GL, same amount, but only once in a month or quarter it is passed, then at a time through the use of batch input session, thousands and thousands of recurring entries can be created in FI within fraction of seconds. Okay, understand? Any question regarding the recurring entries? Ask me.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Tell me.
If in the month of June I have to include one more GL, then what to do, sir?
Yes, that means the recurring entry has to be modified. That recurring entry has to be modified so that it will take some more informations from the next time. So there is a way through which this recurring document can be also modified and again kept in the memory. So here you can change the recurring document. Okay, this is 5001. Suppose this is the recurring document. See, regarding the addition of one more GL, that cannot be possible of adding one more GL, but you can change the amount. You can change the amount, change the narration, but if you want to add one more GL, it is better to create another recurring document for that purpose. And another recurring document means another one extra GL. Extra number, that is 5001, 5002 or 5003. No issues, because you see that recurring document in the batch input session, even if you have 1000 recurring document, you can post it without any problem. So creation of any extra GL account in the mid of the year or in the mid of the quarter or after passing or running the initial some month entries, then it is not possible to add a extra GL, but only information is you have to create another recurring document for that one extra entry. So the SAP memory will keep, say 5001 is the document, another document will be created as 5002, and while running the SAP recurring document, 2 numbers of document will be simultaneously posted. Okay, so that is the facility so far in SAP. Any other question? Okay, fine. So we are closing the session. I wish that all of you will do the practice, and today was the last class of this week, and next week we will meet with the further discussions in SAP. So I wish that all of you will do the practice and use SM04 for removing any person who is unnecessarily blocking you. Okay, thank you so much. Good night to all of you. Thank you.